Again. Good morning. Did everybody see that lovely intro that came in? If not, you're going to have to go back and take a look at it. It was pretty awesome. So we have a new intro for Digital Media Sync. So we're getting a little bit fancier. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Tuesday morning Digital Media Sync. Last week, we were talking about virtual events and how to run a successful virtual event. And I wanted to take a couple of Tuesdays and do a little bit more in-depth. So our first in-depth look is going to actually be exploring the technology for virtual events. And what that means is basically things to think about when you're deciding out what kind of technology you want to be using, things to take into consideration, especially when you're thinking about what resources and budget that you have as well. And then we're going to take a look at a couple of them. So we're going to look at it from the perspective of meetings, of events, and conference type of displays. So let's get to it, shall we? So as we talked about last week, these days, most events are still virtual, and that's more than likely to continue, especially larger conferences where there's going to be many people coming from many different areas, you know, for whatever reason, whether it's convenient, budget, a pandemic, that sort of thing. So people are looking at what resources are available for their meetings and for their conferences and for other types of events, you know, such as live streaming as we are right now. And so we're taking into consideration what kind of tools do we want to utilize and what goes into that decision process. So I'm going to be taking a look at that. And last week we talked about creating a full plan, and you can see that particular presentation at www.nhvknow.com. And if you go to the Digital Media Sync tab, you'll be able to see not only that presentation, but other presentations as well. So I've been doing Digital Media Sync online for the past at least 2.5 months. So we would be doing Digital Media Sync in-house at Know in the conference room. We'd be talking back and forth, having a conversation, discussion, that sort of thing. And that's just not happening anymore. You know, now we're bringing this virtual, and so we had to think about what is it that we wanted to do? What kind of tools do we want to use in order to do that? So the things that people take into consideration when choosing a platform, and I think these happen to be, you know, very important, and I didn't really put them in any order. So first and foremost, the security and encryption, right? We all heard about what happened when there were people crashing Zoom, and then Zoom caught up with their security and made password protection mandatory, which you can click off of and then invite people from a waiting room, which is also a light form of security. But that's something to take into consideration, how secure is each of these platforms. The other thing too that I think people would want to think about is technical support. Oftentimes, if I don't see a chat feature on one of these platforms or programs, or I don't see an easy way to get to ask questions quickly, I'm a little leery about diving into learning a platform. So FAQs right at the beginning, an easy way to get to support if you can't find your answer within the FAQs or the how-tos or whatever, that sort of thing. So again, that's something when you're deciding on any sort of platform, you know that at some point you're going to need help. Security and encryption, technical support, recording options. A lot of times people will want to record their meetings so they can go back and compare notes or take notes. In this case, with the Digital Media Sync, this is recorded through Streamyard. So this will always be around. I have a file of this particular presentation, all my other presentations. It's on Facebook Live, so it's sitting on Facebook platform as well. It's in YouTube. We take this particular presentation and we will provide it on the NHV Know website so people can go back to it and take a look at it. But we also have MP4 file as well. So do you want to record? Will it record automatically? Will it default to recording or default to not recording? And then you have to remember to record. These are all things to take into consideration. Video chat and audio chat. So being able to, and I'm going to add text chat as well. So video, audio, and text. There are options where you can go into audio only for whatever reason, or video chat as well. And then the text chat availability, a lot of meeting platforms have that available. A lot of conference platforms have that available. Ease of use and being able to turn that on and off, and also for the host to be able to turn off video and audio as well. I know a lot of times when there's presentations, again, I'm going to use Zoom as an example. When people are presenting in Zoom, a lot of times the host will mute everybody except for the ones who are supposed to be the speakers at that time, and then turn the chat back on, the video chat or the audio chat back on when that particular piece of the presentation is done. So that way there's no interruptions. And there's also the availability of being able to raise a hand, so to speak, if you have a question. So that's a button that's available. And then you can text any questions into the chat area. So just last week, I was actually doing a presentation where the audio was muted. I could see that there were actual physical people behind the screen with the video, and then people were texting their questions as a chat. So that was something to take into consideration as well. Wow, I just jumped right into this presentation. So I wanted to say hi to everybody. I see that there are people here. And I also wanted to let you know if you have any questions, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, that you can ask those questions in the chat section or the comment section, and I'll be able to answer them as we go along. I'm going to be going back and forth between my actual presentation and then popping into the screen and seeing if there's anything that anybody is asking. But if you want to say hi, please feel free to do that as well. This is something that's a little bit different because I'm more broadcasting than conversing. So when I'm in Zoom, we're all in together, or Jitsi or 8x8, that's another platform. That's a meeting platform. And so when it's a meeting platform, I'm able to communicate with everybody, and they can talk back to me. I can see them through the video, and I can hear what their questions are or comments or anything like that. So, it's a little bit more conversational. This is more broadcasting. So, yay. Lance said hi to me. Thanks for saying hi, Lance. So this is a little bit different, and I have to say that in the very beginning it was a little bit daunting to not have people around to provide that feedback. So that's video, audio, and text chat. And then integration and use on mobile devices is also very important, because a lot of times when people are attending a meeting or an event, so to speak, of some sort, so a webinar, or they're listening in on some sort of conference. So if there's a speaker at a conference and they want to pop in, we want to make that have a platform that makes it very easy to do that on a mobile device, so that you can watch. Your video quality is still very good, your audio quality is still very good, and the streaming quality is very good as well. So you don't have a lot of echoes or breaks, or the video goes out or the audio goes out. So thinking about that as well. Screen sharing capabilities is also very important as well. So obviously you want the host to be able to share their screen, but oftentimes if you have a guest, a remote guest, and they need to share their screen, you want to make that very easy for them as well. So I know that Zoom does that, 8x8, Jitsi, a lot of other platforms, GoToMeeting, that sort of thing. So the larger platforms, larger and more expensive or monthly premium platforms definitely have that available. But then when you get into smaller platforms, you want to make sure that that's available. Again, utilizing Streamyard. I'll have guests on, and one of the things that I want to make sure is they're able to share their screen as easily as I can share my screen. And they provide that as an option as well. The other thing that people want to make sure of is that they have a dial-in option. Again, if they're doing audio only, if they're calling from, I've had people call in from their cars to meetings and saying, I'm just going to dial in. What's the dial-in number? Making sure that dial-in numbers are still available, in addition to having a link, is still an important part of making a decision. Some people, like me, also do not appreciate the auto launch of the camera. I like to jump in to a conference or a meeting and just kind of make sure that I'm situated before I jump in with video. And maybe because I'm outside, and maybe because I want to test the lighting in my video, it may be because I want to fix my hair. That happens. So making sure that the default is not auto launch, and if it is auto launch, if you can just pop that off and go into the platform and just kind of get an idea of how everything situates as far as lighting and sound and that sort of thing before you just rush right into the conference or the meeting or whatever the event is that's happening. Again, I'm utilizing Streamyard. It's really quite interesting because what I can do is sit myself and any guests that I have in a green room, so to speak. So we're on video, we have our audio, we can test our video and audio before we can go, we're in the studio before we go live on screen. So I'll check with everybody and make sure that everybody is comfortable, they have everything that they need, including anything that they want to share on screen, that they feel like they look, presentable for a live stream or whatever it is, that they have themselves centered and situated the way that they want to, and then I can bring them onto the screen. And actually what I'm going to do is, this is a little bit, there we go, that was small. So because this is recorded, I'm going to back up to the first set of items of things to consider when choosing a platform and let it just sit there for a moment so that people can take a look at it, because it was a little small on the screen previously. And I know I can't read as well as I used to, unfortunately. So if anybody has any questions as I'm moving along, please put them in the comment section. And or just give a hi or a high five or whatever. And I will keep moving. So meeting platforms, I actually utilized a couple of articles, and one of them was from All That SaaS. So just because I like the name, I kind of went over to that. So this particular article is 16 powerful video conferencing software and apps to use in 2020. So it's 2020, and I figured that this is a good resource. I just want to make sure that it's on there. So I use a variety of resources, and I'm going to share my screen in just a moment. So share screen. Here we go. Perfect. So this is from All That SaaS. And it goes through some of the things that I have already talked about, but have no problem reiterating because it really needs to be reiterated. So when you're thinking about conferencing software, you're thinking about what gives you the maximum number of attendants, right? What allows you to reach out to the most people, maximum number. You're not being throttled at all, you know, for any reason. Minimize costs. Definitely every organization, no matter how big or small, has a budget. So you want to take a look at what those costs are and what you're getting for that cost. Enhance productivity. So this is talking about free video conferencing software. So it can improve the organization's productivity. Improved communication. So this is, you know, again, while we're still in a mode where not everybody can meet in person with each other, a good video conference that has a set agenda and a desired outcome, a goal, works very well online in a video conference because you're getting those cues from people. A lot of times, you know, this is saying that the need for long and confusing emails go away. There's no need for chit chat or long stories anymore. Whenever there's a problem, the concerned employees can get on a video call and sort the issue out immediately. Schedule meetings, increase job satisfaction. So those are all kind of the things that it's saying is positives of doing a video conference. And that's a good video conference. That is something where, again, you're scheduling it, you have a set agenda, you have expectations, you set the expectations and you make those expectations known. So who's going to be speaking when there's availability for everyone to be able to speak, and when there's going to be a period of time where there's going to be somebody who's, you know, one person speaking for a set amount of time. So when you're sending out an agenda for a conference or a meeting or that sort of thing, really setting the expectations will make that meeting or conference just as an in-person meeting. Knowing the expectations makes the meeting more productive and shorter. Good morning, Randy. So again, key features to look for: screen sharing, call and screen recording, whiteboarding. This was something that I did not talk about in the first couple of slides. Being able to utilize a whiteboard tool. So that's something that you may want to consider. Participant chat. So what's available for the participants to chat? So what's the best conferencing software in 2020? So all that SaaS is saying that Zoom is the best conferencing software in 2020. And this was really interesting because the big thing that they said about Zoom was that it's a HIPAA compliant video conferencing software. So that was really interesting that was like the huge feature that was provided about Zoom. And then, of course, this has been considered the number one software. So it says, again, supports up to 1,000 call participants but it's on its most expensive price plan. So it's especially useful for a company with thousands of employees. Offers unlimited cloud storage, which enables teams to share as many files and records as they want to. And then the business and enterprise plans also offers the option of automatically generated cloud recording transcripts. So we remember we had talked about a little bit earlier in the first two slides about whether there's automatically generated cloud transcripts or recording of some sort. So I'm not going to go over each and every one of these. This is actually going to be in the presentation that I'm offering later on when I put it on the NHVKnow.com website. And just a moment of note, one of the things that we're going to be doing is offering digital media sync the same time, 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning, where I'm going to be on Facebook Live and LinkedIn and YouTube, so you can watch it anywhere and anytime that you want. Take whatever notes. And then we are taking this video and supplemental material as well, value added, and we're putting it on the NHV Know website. And we're going to work on having a monthly membership fee for the materials, which is only $9 a month. And then all the digital media sync will be there, Pivot Talk will be there, Know Live will be there. So that's one of the offerings of Known Co-working right now as far as the virtual Known Co-working. And we're going to be talking about other offerings for Known as well as this all rolls out. So this particular Google Hangouts is actually going away. So, oops, that's another one. Wearby. So Wearby is, I haven't looked at all of these yet, but I had been looking at other options besides Zoom. So one of the options that I actually like is something called 8x8. So it's the number 8 times and then the number 8 again.com. And I've been using that with my business partner, Mason Rabinowitz, at Agents of Branding. And we have the way that it's set up. There's 8x8.com, then / Agents of Branding. And then he has his own room and I have my own room. So we could be holding meetings simultaneously within the platform, but I can hold a meeting in my own room and he can hold a meeting in his own room. So it's really very helpful. So Wearby, again, is another platform. And Whereby is one of the few apps that does not make the mistake of targeting a wide audience. So this is really interesting. So being one of the top free video conferencing software, Whereby, I guess it's Whereby, has been focused on small and medium-sized businesses from the get-go. So that's interesting because knowing that small and medium businesses, which is mostly what I work with, you know, being able to give them options that are not huge and unwieldy and really difficult and not user friendly, or takes a lot of time and effort and may or may not have a good support or service, tech or anything like that. So Whereby does offer, maybe it's Whereby, does offer native mobile apps for iOS and Android users. As soon as you start using this app, one of the first things that grabs your attention is the app's simplistic and extremely user-friendly UI. So already I'm like, maybe I want to take a look at this too. The app is entirely web-based. Mac and Windows users can access the app through their browsers. It offers a free version. Mobile access, so we had talked about, again, the first two slides, we talked about whether or not it's going to have mobile access, record and playback video, and then offers screen sharing features. So it hits all the buttons for smaller meetings, webinars, smaller conferences. So it really looks like it does all the things that it says it's going to do. So there's a free plan. And it looks like this is only for personal use with one user and one meeting room. The Pro plan is $10 a month, reasonable, and one user can use 3 meeting rooms. So again, this is individual or smaller organizations. And then the business, notice how the Pro and the business jump. So Pro is $9.99 and business is $59.99. And then you can use it for teams. So multiple users, admins for 10 meeting rooms, and more. So again, it's something that you have to think about from the perspective of, does it fit into your budget for your organization? And if you're a small business, is $60. And this is along with other, you pay $60 here, then you pay $20 for something else, and then, you have all these different aspects to consider from a budget standpoint. So this is another one that I've seen in many publications, including PCNet and PC Mag. Oh no, I think it's ZDNet and then PC Mag, but I've looked in several publications. And Cisco WebEx is, again, another video conferencing software. And it immediately goes to the big feature, it's high definition video. So that may be something that's for larger organizations. Again, this is saying that it's a very flexible solution and it's designed for organizations of all sizes. I'm always worried when they say organizations of all sizes, only because I always feel like the larger organizations that are getting the very premium packages are going to be the organizations that really get maybe the best options, the best service, and that sort of thing. It can't be one size fits all. Just like any business, you always want to target who your audience actually is. And if you're saying, well, we can do everything for everybody, that ends up at some point being not necessarily true. So I'm a little wary about that. That's just my personal opinion. So it says it offers HD video conferencing for up to 6 participants simultaneously. That's what Streamyard does. And actually, it's 10. Each participant can have their video feed, which is easily navigable in personal meetings as well. It brings cross-platform compatibility, so teams can use any universal device can connect. It does have a conference password protection and secure data encryption. Very important. Remember, we were talking about security and encryption. And convenient for remote teams. So let's look at this. Not bad. So they have many, many, many options. They have a free option, a starter option at $13.50, a plus at $17.95. Their business goes to $26.95, and then their enterprise, they say call for that. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to skip over Google Hangouts because that's going away. Or they're calling it something else. I actually was just in a Google Hangout for like 5 minutes last night. I thought I was going to be watching a movie. I was like, I can't watch a movie. I have to do this at 8:30 in the morning. What am I thinking? Okay, so number 5 is making a big claim right here. It is saying that it is the best teleconference meeting software. Dun, dun, dun. Why is it the best? Why is it the best? Let's look at their key features. It offers easy and quick file sharing. With the team sessions feature, it makes managing multiple parties simpler. It offers remote support, remote administration, and remote access for online meetings. And then with the custom module, you can add your customized corporate design in TeamViewer. Okay. It allows you to push and pull Wi-Fi settings to maintain a secure connection while sharing screens in real time. That's a big one. I'm always worried about, especially, what was it, yesterday, I was working from my porch and then sitting in my backyard for a while with the computer in front of me. And I'm always worried about a bad connection or a dropped connection. And that was happening for a little bit for me, just because of where I was. And being able to switch up really quickly and to mitigate that is really very important. So I went from my home Wi-Fi to my phone hotspot. And I was able to do that relatively quickly. And I actually was doing that with Jitsi. So Jitsi, JITSI.com, is another platform. I don't know if it's on this list. I can't remember if it is, but that was definitely a platform where when I switched over to a Wi-Fi connection, that was going to help me stream better and faster. It did not drop on me. I was able to pick right back up. So I think this is actually the only article that I'm going to be able to get through today because it's already 9:08. Let me see if there's any others. I don't really need to go through all 16 of these. Amazon Chime. That is another one. And this has a nice little setup as well. And this looks like it's saying that this is a Slack initiated meeting. So again, integration is really very important. And this has like a nice little setup. I know that there's only 4 participants showing on here. But the ability to show video clearly, have a nice aesthetic to it, is really very important. You can see that there's a screen share, and the chat looks nice and neat as well. And it shows the who the attendees are in a nice, neat manner. That's something that's really important. I know that when I'm on a meeting or a conference, if I have trouble finding things, and especially if I need to be muted or I need to mute myself or I don't want to have my video on for a few minutes, or if I'm kind of moving around trying to figure out where my screen share is or how to raise my hand, who is actually in the meeting, especially if I'm presenting, or if I'm a guest presenter, you know, I'd like to know who's there. I want to be able to find that really quickly, and I don't want to spend a lot of time struggling to set myself up. So this actually is kind of intriguing in a way as a platform. So this actually says it has a pay-as-you-go option. Not really a huge thing for me, But who knows, some people might say, you know what, I'm not doing too many of these conferences for my organization. This is not a regular thing. I'm not doing something every Tuesday morning and then something every Friday afternoon. I just want to kind of like jump in and out of the situations. So it allows users to view their audio feed and remove background noise. That's something else that I think we got to take into consideration as well. I know that there's quite a few options, platform options. Well, they will let you know if you have background noise and do you want to mitigate that. I know that when I was on Jitsi, that does that. 8x8 does that. Zoom does that. So that's another very interesting component that sometimes people don't think about and kind of have to now, right? Because if you are, again, broadcasting or meeting or conferencing from your home or from, you know, it's summertime, you want to be outside, that sort of thing, you really want to be careful as far as how much outside noise there is, and can you mitigate that within a very short period of time. All right, so what's the pricing? The basic features of Amazon are free to use. You can enjoy voice calls, attend meetings, voice over IP, screen sharing, group caps, incoming webhooks, and integration with AWS CloudTrail. The Pro plan works on a pay-as-you-go basis. So you pay only for the services that you use, and then Amazon offers a pricing calculator. So that's interesting because even with pay-as-you-go, I'm assuming that you would want to try to have some sort of budget. GoToMeeting. I have not used GoToMeeting in a really, really long time, but it is tried and true, and I think a lot of people have used GoToMeeting. Hey, so in the chat, how about if you let me know what platforms you have been using? So far, I have been using Zoom, Jitsi. So interestingly enough, I've also used Discord for the first time for playing games. It's not gaming. It's not considered. I guess it's not considered gaming because it's not video games. I was playing like board or card type of games that have been revised, you know, somewhat to be video type games. Trying to think of what else I use, but if you want to throw that in the chat, what you've been using, let me know. Let me know what you think about them too, each of these platforms. And I know for me, and I don't know if it's the same for everybody else, but I use a couple of different platforms. You know, like I said, I use Zoom, I use 8x8 as well. I've used Facebook Messenger's video chatting platform as well, even for meetings. So if I'm jumping in on a quick meeting with a potential client or with a client or you know, somebody who just wants to run something by me, or family or friends, I've utilized the Facebook video chat as well, and I found that works really, really well. And the other thing, as far as video, Facebook video, they've really pushed that out as an option for groups, most specifically. So every group currently has a group video meeting option available to them. So it'd be interesting if anybody has used that or plans on using that. I would love to have a conversation as far as how that works. When they were first really, really pushing Facebook video rooms, almost annoyingly, for a few days to a week, they really wanted everybody to jump into a video room and try it out and that sort of thing. And you have the option of inviting people or leaving your video room open, which is interesting if you have a lot of friends and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, who's this in my video room? But if you're in a particular group, that's something that probably works really well, because if you have, I'm going to have office hours on Facebook, so to speak, and people are still, you know, on Facebook even throughout their workday, basically. So that's something that's very interesting. I totally got off of the All That SaaS meeting rooms to talk about Facebook, but this is where I am right now, and I just thought about that. Any meeting is another option. JoinMe. So JoinMe is one that a couple of people have invited me to, and I hadn't jumped on. I was like, no, let's do 8x8, or let's do blah, blah, blah. But this is really interesting because it looks like instead of squares, you are in circles. And it's just really interesting because, you know, the big kind of meme thing right now is everybody thinks that we look like the Brady Bunch on Zoom, or that we look like something from the Muppet Show, or Hollywood Squares. That's really far back. Okay, Julia. But it just looks very impersonal and kind of weird. So this, oops, can't see that. There we go. So it's interesting to see, you know, nowadays we're 4 months into working from home, or March, April, May, June, or July. Yeah, 4-ish months, 4.5. You know, maybe we want to see a different shape. Something as simple as that. Maybe something that really makes us feel good about life. Okay, so users can create a flexible and personalized conferencing experience with recordings and screen sharing. All right, sure. There's a lot of platforms that do that. With this software, you can add up to 250 participants who can join from anywhere at any time using any device. Also, check. This tool allows you to carry out simple installation with consistent screen share URL and bookmarking option. Integrate it with many important third-party applications such as Google Calendar and Outlook, and available in 8 different global markets: China, Canada, Australia, and Asia. That's interesting. And it supports 7 different languages, including Italian, German, French, Dutch, and English. So JoinMe is really looking to go international. So it looks like they do not have a free version, but it says just $10 can get you unlimited internet calls, personal URL, personalized background, unlimited meetings, no time limit, and a meeting of up to 5 participants. Okay, so that's kind of small. And then $20, and then business is $30. So not bad. Blue Jeans is another one that came up in a lot of different publications. It is not one that I've tried out before. Security, easy to use, universal software, available on the cloud. Okay, checks all the boxes. Multi-party video meeting feature. Around 5,000 participants can interact in events and webinars. Okay, boom. So this is something that we haven't looked at any kind of more larger scale platforms, but this looks like it, again, checks the boxes for your larger scale platform. Great for sharing HD content and videos, which is huge. One of the questions, I was doing a webinar on this last week, and one of the questions are, can you do pre-recorded video? Where can you do pre-recorded video along with live video? And some of these options may not have that available to you. Global cloud service offers scale and flexibility for teleconferencing, allows you to view videos at high definition of 1080, and software also supports single sign-on integration along with Google Calendar and Outlook for easy scheduling. So again, the pricing, there's not a premium version, but there's a low entry cost, which is $9.99 per host per month. And you can get unlimited one-on-one meetings, unlimited group meetings, 5-hour recordings, no time limit, and a capacity of up to 50 participants. And it goes to $13.99, and then Enterprise, this is when you have to call for the pricing. But it includes brand customization, unlimited recording, an onboarding manager, customer success manager, and technical account manager. So it has all the bells and whistles with getting help. Uber conference, well, that's another one that's like, hello. I've heard the term Uber conference a long, long time. And then Zoho meeting is another one that I've heard before. But you can kind of see, even in 2020, there's not, you know, it's interesting to make decisions, you know, what you're basing your decisions on. And again, it's the things that are in the first 2 slides, basically, which are going to be up momentarily right after this is done. That was just that. Oh, here we go. 8x8 video meetings. So this is actually, I've been starting to really like 8x8 as far as video meetings, better than Zoom. And again, this is the one that I use with my business partner at Agents of Branding. So I'm going to read about it. The video conferencing software offers free unlimited video meetings along with simple browser extensions and a calendar plugins. With its paid plan, 8x8 allows you to enjoy meeting transcriptions as well as closed captions. And that's something that I've really been pushing actually for the past few years now. Because I have a friend and colleague, and she has actually presented a couple of times with me, and she talks a lot about accessibility. So now I'm always looking at how accessible meetings specifically are, and especially, you know, when you're trying to impart information and education as well, having that accessibility is really important. So the key features, it offers custom browser extensions for both Chrome and Firefox. You can share your screen or chat with other participants during the meeting. It complies with the verified security standards for third parties. Along with a closely scrutinized developer community, 8x8 offers end-to-end encryption along with randomizing meeting names to preserve the privacy of team employees. And it's interesting how in number 5, it says this software claims to offer 24/7 customer support via live chat, email, and phone. And that's huge. I always want to have anything that, any kind of platform or software, I want to have that live chat available to me. So for the free unlimited meetings, Outlook and Google Calendar integration, central administration control, personal meeting link, and meeting history, all for free. And then the Pro is $9.99 per month. You can enjoy all the free plan features as well as real-time closed captions, meeting transcription, live in meeting dial out, and extended cloud storage. So, you know, again, low price point, low point of entry, and you get, you know, a lot. So I think, does that conclude that? Yeah, that got all the way to 16. So those are the big kind of conferencing and meeting and webinar software as well. And then there's very specific software. I've seen that there's live auction software that's available as well. There's a whole slew for, you know, anything from gaming to fundraising, to live fundraising for nonprofits. You know, obviously the social streaming as well is very huge. So, well, so it is 9:25 now, so we're going to be wrapping this up. And again, I just wanted to impart a couple of things. First of all, this whole presentation is going to be up on the NHV Know site. So I'm going to put that in the chat so you know. I'm going to put the homepage there. And the really exciting thing is that Know Co-working is actually open for business with dedicated desks and offices available. You can come in for one day, or you can pick from the monthly plan. So when you go to the website to find Digital Media Sync and to find my videos, take a look at the options. There's both in-person co-working options, and there's also remote options as well. So definitely take a look at that. Next week at 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday, and it would be July 21st. And July is just flying by, for me at least. I don't know. So on July 21st, right? Yeah, because it's the 14th. Good math. I will be talking about promoting your live event. And so what does that look like? This was a really big topic. So I wanted to kind of break it down and not shove everything into one live stream, so that we can really take a look at a couple of different things. Again, as always, if there's any topic that you want to present on or any topic that you want to hear more about, hold on a second. I spelled that wrong. If there's any topic that you want me to talk about or that you want to present, or anybody that you think would be a great presenter, let me know. So let me know. There we go. Julia can spell. Let me know in the comment section. Go to the Digital Media Sync group. Go there to the Known Co-working page, and just let me know what's going on in your head and what you're looking to see on Digital Media Sync, because this is for you. Okay, so I am all done. It was great being able to chill out with you guys and share some knowledge and have some conversation. And we will see you next week.